Hello to everyone, welcome. My name is Riccardo Iossa and I'm the sales account for Europe. Today with me, Andrea Pontoglio, the product specialist, will introduce all the technical part of the range of products we are going to introduce to you. The agenda for today, why Eelectron? So we will introduce a little bit the vision and daily commitment of the company and what's new, DALI introduction and the portfolio. Then we will shortly talk about the initiative and conclusion with marketing tools, calendar, Q&A and feedbacks. Story and facts of the company. Eelectron is a company founded in 1994, based in Legnano, Milano. Eelectron was born as an hotel management system manufacturer. The hospitality is a complex market where the reliability is a very important thing. And then we were focused on OEM supply for big customers. This helped us a lot to increase the quality of the products due to the frequent audit we received. Then we developed also a very solid product for other application. All the products and application are made in Italy and designed in Italy as well. From simple to premium hotel solution means that our target is different. So besides the hospitality, we also manage residential, offices, senior living houses, and more. So we can proudly say that we are a small multinational. So we have installation in more than 80 countries, and the products are 100% tested in factory. We take care not just the supply of the products, but also from the design to the after-sales moment. So we are a member of the KNX associations since 2005, and we are also a certified KNX training center, besides a technical board member of KNX. All our devices complies with KNX worldwide certification standard that is issued by an accredited labs based in Germany. As you can see, our claim is building and home evolution. It means that we are always trying to evolve the products, taking care also about a trend that is it's now a big deal, that is big data generation without losing the focus on the design. That is a very important thing for us. So we are also a pioneer of the KNX stack, and besides the KNX, we also take care about more technologies like DALI, that we will take care today, MQTT, Bluetooth, and more technologies. Our global presence. So our headquarters is in Legnano, Milano. And besides Milano, we have also a branch office in Madrid, in Spain, in Duisburg, in Germany, and then commercial offices are in China, in Bangkok, for Asia Pacific market, and Middle East, we're based in Dubai. Here we can see an important data that is about the energy efficiency and sustainability. As you can see, it's a very important matter for us, and how we reach this information. So listening the occupants, operators, and user experience. This goal can be reached thanks to the building automation and the system integration, both wired and wireless, in connected secure rooms and as well as secure and connected zones. Following the trend of the last period, we can also generate data for digital application that can be displayed and monitored with a dashboard and different tools like MQTT. All I mentioned can be reached using different protocols. Of course, KNX, but also Bluetooth, DALI, MQTT, Cloud. This is the contribution to the smart building. Here you can see an interesting evolution of the company with the milestones we reached from our foundation year, more than 30 years ago, and step by step some products, features we released. Today we will focus on DALI, that we started in 2010. Then, as you can see, we can go through different products, important products for us like Eelectron 9025 sensors, until the latest baby we released, that is the OLU, that is a range of mechanical switches with a strong aesthetical component. Now we will talk a little bit deeper regarding the DALI. What is the DALI? DALI means Digital Addressable Lighting Interface, and it's a communication protocol for the lighting application in buildings. DALI, it's used in main applications, so we can talk about offices, hotel, hospitals, residentials, logistics center, but also warehouses and car parkings, and much more applications are installed. Regarding the evolution of the lighting control protocol, as you can see here, it starts from the very beginning, that it's the 1 to 10 volt, that used to be an industrial standard, analogic. Then it evolves in DSI, that was a proprietary system, digital and unidirectional, up to the DALI, that it's an industrial standard managing the luminaires, and the important thing is that it's digital and bidirectional. After a while, we reached the DALI2 protocol. The big difference with the previous one is that it's not just the luminaires that can be managed, but also some control devices. Another important things we will talk later also, it's the external certification process that is a very important thing for the DALI2. DALI is a trademark to promote a set of ISC standards, that is the International Electrical Commission. As I mentioned before, it's a manufacturer-independent system organized by the Digital Illumination Interface Alliance, and the main features are the installation and the wiring. It's simple. The assignment and change by software, it's a big plus. And it's a multi-master, so it's not a single master, but it's a multi-master technology. What was added later on with the DALI2, that is derived from the global standard ESC, as you can see here, are more features. And now we will go through the technical side of the DALI, and Andrea, we will talk about this technical side of the DALI.
Thank you, Riccardo, for your introduction, and good morning again to everybody. For who doesn't know me, I'm Andrea Pontoglio, product specialist here in Eelectron. As Riccardo said, we can see how from the DALI Association webpage, we can see the product database of every DALI registered product. Here we can see our list of products that we will see today. All of them are already registered in the DALI Association. Starting from the gateways, we can start from the DALI IC01D01DAL, that is a single master application DALI gateway with one channel. Going ahead, we have the IC02D01DAL, that is the big brother. It's just a twin channel DALI gateway, so same feature as the first one, but we do DALI bus in the same device. And we finish with the multi-master application with only one channel DALI bus. Starting from the IC01D01DAL, we can wire up to 64 ballast and group them up to 16 groups. And we can control any kind of ballast, I want to say, because this gateway now is compatible with DT6 single channel lighting ballast, and also with DT8 for tunable white application, but also RGB and RGB white, for example. In addition, DT1 and DT0 ballast used for emergency system can be discovered, and we can control them with this gateway. This module can be useful just to control, but not to have an analysis of the emergency lighting system. And of course, is already compatible with the DALI2 protocol. Going ahead, we have the IC02D01DAL, that in this case is the same gateway, but as we can see also from the picture in the lower left corner, we will have two different DALI bus inside the device. This means that we can wire up to 128 DALI ballast. This because we have two different DALI bus, and this means that we can group them up to 16 groups for each DALI bus. Again, as I said before, with this gateway you can control any kind of ballast without any issue regarding the classic 0, 1, 6 and 8. And again, you can control DT0 and DT1 ballast, but without any analysis regarding the emergency lighting system. Finishing with the multi-master application controller, that is our IC01D03DAL. Here we can see the picture. That is a DALI gateway with only one DALI bus, plus Connect connection and also an IP port. The IP port can be very useful to connect this gateway and enable the MQTT protocol, for example. In this way, we can can integrate MQTT. This means that we can integrate third parties using MQTT very easily. So all the information coming from the DALI can be forwarded easily to the MQTT. But also some KNX messages can be forwarded from KNX to MQTT thanks to this gateway. In addition, the IP port enables you the opportunity to have a web page. So inside there is an integrated web server, a very easy web server that is not a supervision for your entire KNX system, but is a supervision for your DALI system over a single gateway. So this means that if you have two different gateways, you will have two different IP to point and access each web server. With the web page, you can also control your DALI gateway, have a diagnostics, and also get some report for the emergency lighting system, as we will see later. DALI Gateway is a multi-master application, means that thanks to the DALI2 protocol, now we can also integrate motion sensor, brightness sensor, movement detector with motion and brightness, push button interfaces, but also some generic probes like for the control of temperature, humidity, and so on. As said, this can be done thanks to the update of the DALI2 protocol that is now ready for every of our devices. Here in this slide we can see some detailed information regarding what the gateway can control, starting from the KNX Data Secure. So it means that this device is already compatible with the KNX Data Secure, meaning that you can encrypt your Telegram and have a secure project with KNX. In addition, we can see how we can integrate motion sensor, occupancy sensor, lighting sensor, meaning that we can activate also different functions in our DALI system now, like the custom dimming function that we will see later an example. Something that for me is very important with this gateway is that we can control any kind of ballast and also sensor and input. Regarding some numbers, we can integrate up to 8 different motion brightness detector zone or up to 8 different push button interfaces. Means that think about an office where you have up to 8 zones, you can control lighting system, push button and sensor using only one gateway and only one protocol, that is in this case it could be DALI. Regarding the topology of the DALI, it's very similar to KNX, so we can have a bus connection, star connection, or tree connection. We can also mix between these three kind of topology. Remember that you don't have to close any ring in your DALI bus, and neither wire any mesh network between devices. So it's like the KNX protocol. In the next slide, we can see an example of wiring where we have, for example, different phases, because in this case we have a three-phase system, and we can wire very easily each lamp with only one DALI bus with the in-out connection between each ballast. And all of them are connected to our KNX to DALI gateway. Another example that could be very useful to understand the new power that and the new function that can bring the multi-master controller gateway between KNX and DALI is this example, where we can see that we have two ways to integrate push button, sensor, and lighting system. The first one is the common one that you already know. So you have the push button and the sensor wired in KNX, and all the luminaries are wired with the DALI bus and of course, DALI ballast. Instead of, with the new gateway, multi-master application gateway, we can wire the push button and the sensor directly inside the gateway. The pro, of course, is that we will have only one bus on the ceiling that arrives also to push button and the motion sensor, meaning that I don't have to bring anymore the KNX cable on the top of the ceiling. Of course, the HPC and any other function in the project, like the shading system, weather integration, and so on, can be done very easily to KNX. And thanks to the gateway, we can exchange information between KNX and DALI very easily. So we discussed about that DALI nowadays can achieve the scaling with the integration of presence detector, so motion and brightness sensor, and the push button interfaces. So now we will show you the new entry about our portfolio, the presence detector, that if you already know our code, we bring to the DALI system system, the basic one, so with lighting control and occupancy detector, so it's a peer passive infrared detector, and our multi-sensor, that is multi-sensor presence detector with temperature, humidity, sound probe, lux meter, and peer, of course. Both sensor can be available black or white by default, so black and white color is not a custom, but is present in our price list. Remember that this will be very similar to the multi-sensor that you already know. This means that through DALI, we will have the opportunity to receive the temperature, the humidity, and forward this information to a thermostat or an HVAC system that is based in KNX or other protocol, thanks to other gateways that we can propose in our projects. The multi-sensor, it's very similar to the KNX one. Also, in the DALI version, you can wire our smart probe. Means that we can read the ambient CO2 value or the VOC value plus the equivalent CO2 depending on the model. With the first one, we have a more precise measurement about the CO2 since there is a CO2 probe inside the device. With the second one, we will have a more complete control of the indoor air quality index, where we have the VOC, that are the volatile organic compound present in the air, and we will have said also the equivalent CO2. Equivalent because we estimate a CO2 level depending on the other value that we receive from the probes. Remember that both sensor in the back of the device has 3 digital input, and only in the multi-sensor version we can wire the smart probes. Going ahead, we have also the push button for DALI. And here in our catalog, we can see that we have 2 different versions of push button interfaces. The first one is a DALI2 push button with 4 digital input. And the second one is again a DALI push button interface, DALI2 push button interface with 4 digital input, but also with the opportunity to have up to 4 output for small LED. This small LED can be powered directly from the device itself. This means that the device will consume a little bit more the DALI bus, but we have also the opportunity to wire an external power supply to the LED. In this way, we reduce the consumption of the push button inside the DALI bus. Here we can see some example of configuration where we have a complete solution based in part for the lighting system in DALI, where we have a different DALI ECG, but also one presence detector and one push button interface. This because with the motion brightness sensor, we can dim up and down the light depending of the actual brightness inside the room, and with the push button interface, we can still enable manual command in order to override the logic of the automatic lighting control system. Here in this example, we can see also how over the KNX bus, we can power it with our KNX bridge. That is a power supply plus IP interface that enables you also MQTT. Again, MQTT, so meaning that if we have to integrate an MQTT broker, we can easily forward all the information about DALI directly from the DALI gateway, and the rest of the information of the KNX system directly from the bridge. Here we can see some note about the every part that now is compatible with our gateway. Another example of configuration, don't forget that our system is a DALI2 system that is a standard. This means that if in your project you are looking for a push button interface or a presence detector like our multi-sensor presence detector, you can use our sensor inside the DALI bus generated and controlled by another gateway or another DALI controller. So since we are compatible with DALI2, our sensor and push button interface will be compatible also with the third-party application or based on DALI2. Of course, the multi-master controller has to follow the DALI2 standard, because in the market we saw some application controller that said we are DALI2. In the reality, they are using DALI2 as a medium to forward messages, but the message inside is by using a private protocol. So for this reason, if you have any doubts or question about your project, just contact your commercial reference or our support team, and we will help you to find the best solution for your project. Going ahead with the webinar, we want to show you one example of what we can achieve with the new DALI multi-master application controller, where we have an amount of light that the lamp can generate expressed in lumen to increase the brightness inside the room. And thanks to the presence detector plus the lux meter that is inside the presence detector, we can keep on a desk, for example, a dedicated set point on the desk, and this will be constant. A classic example is the request to keep the 500 lux on the desk, and if outside is a sunny day, we have to decrease the lumen of the lamps. If it's a cloudy or rainy day, we have to increase the brightness inside the room and keep, again, the 500 lux. One thing very important that we had as update in our portfolio with these gateways is that now every gateway that we have in portfolio is compatible with a new DCA. So is a device control app that you can find directly to MyKNX store, or now you can also download it directly from our website. Very easily you have to add this ETS app in your ETS, and later you will be able to control every parameter of the DALI gateway. And another thing that I want to say you now, all the information are inside the ETS project, so you don't need any external export or external software to save the configuration. We put every knowledge that we have in our ETS on how we made the ETS also in the DALI gateway, like the friendly naming and the opportunity to change naming ECG groups and so on. Something very powerful that is added with this line is that every DALI gateway that we have is compatible, as said, with classic LED ballast, but also tunable white, so DT8, RGB, RGB white, and so on. That is very important. But also we add in the IC01, D03, DAL, so again, it's the multi-master application controller gateway between KNX and DALI, the opportunity to integrate what we call combo ballast, or ballast with combined function, because nowadays we found on the market some particular DALI ballast where you have the RGB plus tunable white in only one ballast, meaning that with the one ballast you have up to 5 output, and this will take only one address over the DALI protocol. That is very powerful, but if you manage this kind of combined ballast, you can't turn on and off it. So thanks to the new IC01, D03 DL, we have the opportunity to control and manage this kind of ballast without any issue. Going ahead, I want to discuss very fast also about the emergency lighting system, since a lot of time is a request to integrate the emergency lighting control system DALI, and thanks to the DALI protocol this will be very easy. So first of all, we have to keep in mind that we have two different kinds of emergency lighting system, starting from the emergency lighting system with the central battery. So there is a central UPS that will feed every ballast, every light when the mains voltage is dropped. Or we have another application that is with the self-contained emergency lighting system. That means that inside the ballast there is a battery, and each ballast for the emergency lighting system has its own battery. How we can integrate these two kinds of emergency lighting system? Starting from the ballast with self-contained battery, in this case we have to propose mandatory our IC01, D03, DAL, because it's the only gateway that we have in our portfolio that can read the information about the battery, check the battery status, but also perform tests. So during the day, the gateway can ask to the lamp to go in test mode, keep the light on for 1 hour, and give back the percentage of the battery after the test. So this can be done directly from the gateway itself. In addition, local reporting is available directly from the web page. So it means that if you access to each web page of each DALI gateway, multi-master application, you can start the test, and when the test is finished, you can perform a report and save it, print it, add as attached in your logbook for the emergency lighting system bureaucracy. Another kind of emergency lighting system, as said, is the central battery, so with the central UPS, and in this case we can use any kind of ballast without any problem, because the test is performed by the BMS. In example, we can see how the DALI system is working fine when the mains is okay. But if the mains voltage drop, the battery starts to feed every emergency lighting system, and thanks to our gateway, we can keep trace of what happened and manage this. In addition, something that is very important, when you run a test using a BMS to test the central battery, we have to take care on what is happening. I mean, during this scenario, we can see how the DALI gateway is powered on, meaning that it is alive and can control the status of the ballast. But if we enable the secure test, there will be a relay that will cut off also the DALI bus. So there will be no any more communication between ballast and the DALI bus. And during this period of time, we don't have to say to the BMS that the light are in faulty status, because it's okay that they are offline since they are performing the test. And again, thanks to every gateway that we have in portfolio, we can easily implement this function to avoid any false positive, false friend in your BMS during the report. So I hope that everything was clear. Now I will pass again the floor to Riccardo, and I will see you later during the Q&A. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Andrea, for the interesting parts regarding the technology and the product range. So I just want to let you know that these products, this range, this family of products is in our portfolio range that includes all the lighting control products and, of course, all the sensors and multi-sensor products family. Besides, we also have all the parts related to the actuators and the connectivity evolution. So you can see here some of them. So actuators, supervision, connected devices, all the parts related to the comfort control, push button interfaces, system components, and interfaces. Last but not least, our portfolio, it includes also all the part related to the switches. So with our historical family of products like Eelectron 3025 and 9025. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, OLU, that is the latest release of switches with a very strong design component, and then all the touch panels. So I suggest you stay connected with us with our social media like Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, where you can find a lot of interesting videos with technical and commercial speeches. And I also remind you to discover a lot of material, technical and sales, besides the marketing tools on our website. And please subscribe our newsletter that contains a lot of interesting news regarding the product portfolio and solutions. So coming soon, the journey continues, and with the next webinar that will be communicated soon.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you to Riccardo that was here today, and also with any other colleague that works behind the scene that you don't see, but they are always with us. So thank you to everybody.
Thank you. Bye.